Hello, Hevi. Thank you so much for giving yourself the time to share this testimonial. It is really, really valuable, right? To share with yourself where you were, where you are now, what worked for you while we were working together. This also will give me a
Mhm,
sense to know what works best when people are in similar situations. Mhm. And it will give you a reference that you can always look back into, mhm,
mhm,
so that you can surprise yourself what you've been through and what you've accomplished. Okay.
mhm.
So I'm going to be asking you some questions. Feel free to answer. Okay. Be
Okay.
as honest as possible. Right. And then if you want to share it also with more people, or you want me, if you give me permission to just publish it, then someone might find the light at the end of the tunnel if they
Mhm.
sympathize or they probably are going through something similar that what you were going through. Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
Great. So let's begin. Throughout, I think we worked together. This program was for we went for 7 weeks, 6 weeks, 6 to 7
Yeah.
weeks, right? And in 6 to 7 weeks,
Mhm.
our goal was to work through your relationship with your mother, right? And what you
Yeah.
were going through with your mother. Through this path, and up to now, we're talking about now probably a month after we finished that process, and now we're in a different process, right?
Mhm.
Or a
Mhm.
month and a half, maybe 2 months,
Yeah.
something like that, right? What tools that you learned in this process are you still practicing, and how are they helping you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that the entire 6 weeks was so transformative for me. Um, I did not expect that it was going to be that, transformative. I had 20 years of resentment towards my mother. I didn't have her in my life at that time for about 6 months, and, there was a lot there to unpack, and I think that reaching the point of knowing that this is somebody that I love so, so dearly, and that I would do anything to have them back into my life. I think that that was what inspired me to come to you, and I think that the biggest takeaway of those 6 weeks, I would say the biggest, thing that impacted me was when we did, um of course, the heart breathing has been, like, the biggest thing ever because I use that every single day now to step into coherence for every area of my life, not just in my relationships. So that is, like, an absolute golden golden tool, that's now integrated into my life. But apart from that, I think specifically to this, the biggest thing was when we did the transformation journaling, and when I was able to rewrite the stories that I had carried with me all of these years about my mother. And then having myself finally allow those emotions to resurface and then be able to then have you assist me in going back to those different timelines and being able to break, or I should say, rewire the stories that I had been telling myself. So I think that that part of it all was so, so life-changing because I was no longer triggered by anything in the presence of my mom. It was so easy to have her in my life without feeling like I was so reactive, and, um, and I think that that has been so powerful. So, thank you for that.
Fantastic. And one question: do you believe there was any trauma that we actually transformed, or was it limiting beliefs or emotional blocks?
I think it was a bit of all, but I think that for the most part, I definitely think that it was the combination of the limiting beliefs and the emotions that I had suppressed that were associated to those big moments in my life where I had created those beliefs.
Fantastic. And how were those beliefs at that moment influencing your relationship with your mother? Your relationship with your mother?
How were they influencing at the
Yes.
time? Um, yeah, I mean, it was really,
Like,
really
what
hard
was it
to
before?
even,
Like, basically, yeah.
yeah. Well, it was really hard to be like in the presence of her. I think that that was the biggest thing was like I had developed these beliefs that my mother was incapable of taking care of herself, and therefore I had to step in as the parent role, which made me resentful towards her because I didn't want to be the parent of my parent. And and I think that I fell into a cycle of and judging, fixing and judging her. And I realized that I needed to give her full permission to be herself and give her full permission to take care of her own life. And I would be there as the daughter, no longer as the parent. So rewiring that and letting go of that responsibility, which was weighing on me so heavily, was huge. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Now, had you tried to deal with this before? And how?
I
What
did.
worked to a certain extent and
Um,
what didn't?
I tried to accept it by in the past, I would try to accept it by not allowing, um, or by pretending like the triggers would not affect me. But the truth is that even when I was in the presence of her, they would, and I would always tell myself, "She's just the way she is. Suck it up." Instead of actually allowing myself to process that feeling and I would always leave those situations feeling like energetically so drained because I was trying so hard to be and I was being inauthentic. I was being not myself. I wasn't being genuine in her presence, but I would pretend like I was being okay, fully okay around her. But it was because I hadn't actually resolved the core of what I needed to resolve, and I was trying to just create a superficial like relationship with her. So, yeah.
Fantastic. So, after this 6 weeks that we worked
Mhm.
together, what would you say are the biggest outcomes in your life now? And with the not only with the relationship with your mother, but what has been uncovered by you? What has
Mm,
been this rediscovered by you after this process?
yeah. I think the biggest thing for me has been raising my frequency, raising my energetic state to be in a place where I'm living in love. I'm living in love and joy. That's what I desire to feel every single day in my relationships, in my business, in any encounter.
How
And I
was the
think
how
that
was the
that
sorry to interrupt, but
it's okay.
there's this is important. How was the relationship with your mother influencing other aspects of your life
Mm,
before?
my worthiness.
Okay.
I would say my worthiness is the biggest one where I had tied a lot of that belief around many parts of the relationship with my mom, and I had used my mom as a mirror for most of my life to feel unworthy, or that I felt unworthy, um, and I was able to resolve that, and I think that it allowed me to step more into my truth, and it allowed me to fully be with self, to be fully present with self, um, without the fear of what if it's not enough. So I think that the worthiness was the biggest takeaway.
Fantastic. As a parenthesis as well, how is your relationship with your mother now?
It's
What has
really,
evolved?
really good. It's really, really good. It's I've been able to be more honest and open with her and having deep conversations. I've stepped into love, full unconditional love. Just this last weekend, we were able to celebrate her birthday, and we had a little staycation, and we went to a hotel for the weekend and celebrated her. And it was, I was so grateful that I was able to have her in my presence again because, I mean, she's my mom. I love her more than anything in this world. And I realized that all of the pain that I had felt in her around her or towards her was because of how much I actually desired to love her and have her in my life. So, leaning into that desire now and really focusing on the love rather than focusing on the judgment was the biggest thing for me. So, it's been beautiful.
Fantastic. So yeah, now going back to how is this process now? How is that process influenced where you are now in life? Where would you consider you are now in life because of this process?
Yeah, I would say I'm stepping more into truth and stepping more into love. I think that those are the two big things. In fact, I have become so inspired by these shifts that I've been able to make in my own relationships that I want to do the same for others. It's such an inspirational place to be to see at the end of the day, like my relationships are my definition of success. So the fact that I see the success in the love and connection I have with my mom, it inspires me to believe that I am unstoppable and that I can do it again and again with anybody in my life, and also that I can help others do the same.
Like, if you had a message through, if you had an inspiring, what if you were to share your inspiration in a certain way to someone that might relate to what you were going through, what would you tell them?
Mhm. Don't give up on the people you love because just when you thought you've tried everything, there is a way and it works. So,
Fantastic. And what would you say you appreciated the most of our relationship during these 6 weeks that we worked together?
with me and you,
Yes.
oh, you're my best friend now. I call you every day. I talk to you more than I talk to anybody. I think um, it's been beautiful. It's been an honor to have your presence in my life. You are an incredible human being.
You.
I'm not gonna cry. Um, but you have been a huge influence in my life. So um, thank you for being alive and thank you for doing this work because it's helping a lot of people and it's helped me in a lot of ways too. And I am excited for the future, whatever this brings.
Fantastic. Hevi, I want to let you know that it's been a real privilege to coach with you, to be at your side all this throughout all of this process. It's been a real privilege to be able to witness your transformation, your strength, your capacity to feel that you have developed throughout in such a short term of time, to see you develop that capacity to feel, right? That emotional resilience that has transformed into your own intuition and ability to transform yourself, right? From what you really desire in life, right? And that hunger for that you have to, I mean, I can say as a coach, what I've learned from you that has also inspired me is that hunger that you have to uncover more, to go deeper, to really go into the guts of it, you know, and feel it. Like once you discovered that you could actually feel it without the drama as we were going through the process, you're like, whoa. You're like, I'm going in all through now, through and through. And that really inspires me because I'm a deep feeler too. I like to go into the depth of things. And it's really inspiring to see someone that has that same passion, you know, and seeing you go into it inspires me to go even deeper. So I want to thank you for that too. It's been a real privilege to coach you so far. Now we've started a new process, right? Where you're going into the mastery of the tools that you learned throughout this process. And that with that hunger, that developing capacity that you have, right? I can only wait to see what's going to happen after 3 months. Right?
I am so excited. If this has only been like a couple months, I cannot even imagine what this year is gonna be like. I already know it's gonna be magic, so I'm excited
Fantastic.
too.
Thank you. So one last question, right? Who would you recommend this to if you were to recommend this to anyone, right? The process that you went through. Who would you recommend it to and why?
I would say, yeah, I mean, I think I would say that I would recommend this to those who are struggling in deeply struggling in an area of their relationships or even the relationship within themselves. I think that that's been the biggest thing too is like what is the relationship with self, right? And being able to um, navigate our emotions and our thoughts. And so, I would highly recommend this for somebody who is struggling in a certain relationship, has reached a point where they're like, I just can't see hope. I don't see another way. Where, and as well as somebody who has actually struggled to develop that relationship within themselves, and perhaps they're even at the rock bottom of that. I've been there too. And I think that your work is done in such a different approach, um, in such a way that isn't out there right now. And and my goal is to, support you in any way I can in getting your voice heard and getting your voice out
Thank
there,
you.
because I strongly believe in your work and I strongly believe in your teachings, and I have firsthand seen how much they impact me, and therefore we are going to make sure that you are impacting the entire world with this work because
Thank
it
you.
does work. It
Thank
does
you.
work. So, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Hevi, for this time. Do I have your permission to share this?
Yeah,
Yes?
absolutely.
Okay,
Hmm.
fantastic. Thank you so
Hmm.
much, Hevi, for sharing your testimonial. I will also send you a copy of this so that you hold it as one of your testimonials to your own life, right? You can always look back in this and surprise yourself how far you come. Sometimes we are faced with challenges in our lives, right? Where we're trying to find the confidence within. So let this be a testimonial to yourself of how capable you are, no matter what comes your way. Okay. I am really, really proud of you as a coach. I feel fortunate
Thank you.
to have a relationship with you, a professional relationship with you in our coaching, and to be present for you and to witness your transformation is a really, really big gift. So I'm excited for what's to come, and thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Alan.
It's an honor, a pleasure, and a real privilege. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you.